This nigga.
Kevin Hart had his roast with Netflix, and it brought a lot of controversy based on the material there, and a lot of people found it was a little harsh.
Did you see the Kevin Hart roast?
I cut it off.
Yo.
Why you cut it off, B?
Honestly, for 3 hours, it was long as shit. If you didn't watch it live.
A lot of them niggas was too dark. Talking about the nigga, what's the shorty name? Husband committed.
Yeah, shout out to Cheryl, Auntie Cheryl. She a real one. That was crazy.
I'm like,
That was crazy.
And I love me some dark humor, but hey, I ain't gonna lie, that George Floyd shit was crazy. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
I never liked the roast though. I don't. They were going too far.
They was going.
I've seen some funny ones, but like I don't know.
The Rock was good though.
The Rock was
that
funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, The Rock was actually pretty funny. I'm like, when he said his daddy was a crackhead, I was like,
he said, "Yeah, my dad was this." Look at your dad. He's not that with a good picture. Let's show this one. There was a mugshot. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was some funny ass shit. Chelsea Handler was funny, but like, yeah, some of them dark jokes, I was like, all right, bro, like
y'all niggas is filthy.
We get off the stage.
I just don't see what George Floyd had to do with anything.
That was crazy.
That's all I'm saying.
And I don't want to be Dr. Umar here, but it's like you said earlier, bro. It's crazy. A lot of shit they let ride with black people, bro.
I'm hopeless.
Yeah, so that was Jeff Teague and his podcast reacting to the Kevin Hart roast. And I had an opportunity to view, not the entire thing because it was 3 hours, but I got an opportunity to see about half of it. It was very harsh. There were funny moments. Of course, to me, the highlight was Katt Williams doing his set. You could tell a lot of those jokes had some truth, or at least Katt's truth. He wanted to get a lot of that shit off his chest. And I liked his set. His set was probably the best thing from the entire roast. But the roast was controversial just because there were a lot of white comedians, and like Michael Che spoke against the white writers being a part of this.
A new controversy is brewing around Netflix's roast to Kevin Hart after comedian Michael Che called out the show's writing staff online. Che took to his social media after the special aired, joking about the fact that a roast celebrating one of the biggest black comedians of the last decade appeared to have a mostly white writer's room. Che also posted a photo of 5 white writers from the special, poking fun at the idea of that group writing jokes for Kevin Hart's roast.
He took to Instagram as he pulled out of the roast, and he said, black people and white people roast differently. He said, black people roast by saying, look at your shoes. And he said, white people roast by talking about slavery and the civil rights movement. And Michael Che was one of those people who was just very upset at some of the material that was written for this roast.
Kevin Hart said, I'm not gonna let y'all stand up here and disrespect my black queens, my black sisters, or something to that effect, right, Art? So I'm thinking he about to clap back. I'm thinking Kevin Hart about to be an alpha male and say, I didn't appreciate them jokes you made about black women tonight. You went too far, right? And guess what he says? None of these women have a man. They a bunch of lonely bitchs. They just sat through a whole night of humiliation from white comics. And here's Kevin Hart, my North Philly brother who I love and respect. He gonna turn around and right when you think he about to defend the honor of black women, Art, he throws them under the bus too.
Some people are calling Kevin Hart a sellout or from the way he was smiling throughout the roast. A lot of people have been upset at some of the jokes. Tony Hinchcliffe, he made a George Floyd joke. A lot of people found inappropriate and not funny, even for roast standards. So in addition to that, there were a lot of people who did give sets, particularly The Rock, Chelsea Handler, a slew of other people. Cheryl Underwood. Yeah, I did see her roast.
They talked about her husband because, you know, for those who hasn't kept up, he committed that. Yeah, he committed.
He committed that when he was married to Cheryl Underwood. I remember hearing that story.
My husband himself in 1990, but my husband died August of 90. So what they're talking about is his over 30 years ago.
A roast is at the person at the center, and that was Kevin Hart. You bring in other people like Floyd, that ain't had nothing to do with the roast, That's like you want to take a dig at which us Black Americans saw this black man on channel with somebody, a police officer, knee on his neck, and for you to take that reference and put it in the roast, which it didn't have nothing to do with the roast, because the roast is supposed to be on Kevin Hart only.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people were like, yo, that's some foul shit. You feel what I'm saying? But of course, white folks, especially the ones that have racist ones, they be like, oh, that's what a roast supposed to be.
And Cheryl Underwood made a good point. She said roast used to be between comics who knew each other and we loved each other. So you knew there was love in the room. Let me tell y'all something. If somebody would have went up there that I don't know, dissing my dead mama, oh, I'm finna ruin the whole night. Cameras getting broke, bitches is getting slapped. Oh, it was finna be a moment.
I mean, but if you look at some of the faces of the people,
you could have read the room.
Yeah, like
they wasn't digging that shit.
Even Kevin Hart, like if you look at Kevin Hart a couple of times, he was definitely
he knew what it was.
Well, he was definitely uncomfortable with some of those.
He was only uncomfortable because he saw everybody else uncomfortable, but he gave the okay.
Yeah.
Because anybody that does a set, it has to go by him first. So he already knew what this guy was going to say. He didn't think that everybody was going to react the way they did. So naturally, he got to save face.
It's goddamn hard-hitting, relentless jokes with no consequence. It's the concept of a roast. You go hard or you go home. There's no emotions attached to a roast. You get up there, you tell your jokes, and we understand that they're going to come with some heat. But that's what a roast is supposed to be.
This is my question for y'all. You think Katt and Kevin really squashed the beef?
Hell no.
Nah. I mean, there wasn't any beef, really. It was just Katt talking shit.
Right.
Well,
Kevin Hart
tell him what he is.
You think Katt going to keep talking shit about
Yeah, he going to keep talking shit. He going to tell him about himself.
Yeah, I don't think Katt likes Kevin just for the actions that he's done in Hollywood, and I don't think because they shook hands he's done talking about him. Yeah, it should die at this point. I don't really think Katt can have a lower opinion of Kevin.
It's pretty much at the
it's pretty much at the bottom. I mean,
you
Kevin
have a whole set of roasters.
Yeah.
Listen, a roast is a roast. A roast has been around for a long time. Roasting started in the Friars Club back in the day. I mean, black people, we called it the dozens. When you roasting the dozens, you talk about motherfuckers. That's what you do. And it's a roast. That's very specific. It's not like, oh, let me just do my comedy special and talk. No, it's a roast. So a roast is like, we're going in on your, whether we don't give a, them going in on Cheryl Underwood's husband's. I don't know. Did Cheryl approve of that? We have to ask Cheryl. I don't know. Going at the George Floyd thing, I thought that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, but then again, it's a roast. But I thought it was unnecessary, especially with this climate, especially with police brutality, which is rampant still. The hanging thing, because they're still hanging black people.
I don't believe there's a point in getting upset with all this shit. Even the George Floyd joke, which I thought was inappropriate, and that should be voiced that it's inappropriate, but
that's like being under the guise of freedom of speech, though. What you're saying?
Again,
yeah, it is freedom of speech.
It's freedom of speech. So if you're going to,
but it's not freedom of action.
Okay, so
you're not free from consequences.
Right,
yeah, exactly. That's
the consequences are gonna come regardless. You can do it. Long as you willing to go through the consequences behind doing that shit, then hey, by all means.
Dub says though, like under the guise of comedy,
I will allow. Yeah, I mean, under the guise of comedy, I'll let anything pass. But you got to be accountable for what you do and say on that stage.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what happens with roast now. Now, I remember seeing clips from old roasts from the 70s, like when they did Sinatra and like Richard Pryor, and those roasts were like really small venues with intimate settings and a lot of people that knew this person personally. Everybody who was telling jokes knew this person, and a lot of people in the audience had connections to him. When these roasts went on to Comedy Central, I think they went too mainstream.
Right.
Because I remember watching those roasts on Comedy Central. That's who made them mainstream. And I remember those being events 20 years ago when come over my crib, we would smoke L's, drink, and sit around the TV and watch the roast. That was like an event. Yeah. That was like a sporting event, the playoffs or something. So what happened was once they went mainstream, all that intimate shit went out the window, and it went from who knows you to who's gonna bring the audience and who's gonna throw the best roast.
Who's gonna say the most
raunchiest shit? It just became button pushing and all that stuff.
Who coming to get this check?
Yeah,
Who coming to get this check? Baby?
Now we're at a point where you're inviting just people who are going to draw attention, not necessarily people who know the person getting roasted personally.
They just drawing attention.
It's
to
too
the event.
Commercialized to the point where we have issues like this, where people are purposely getting up there just to be controversial. It's not about the person getting roasted anymore.
It's about bringing attention to themselves.
Well, it's about white people getting away with shit where they can't get canceled.
They want to diss black folks.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with these roasts now, I think they've jumped the shark. They've gone over the ledge. They've gone into a different territory. Now, me personally, I don't get offended at it because at the end of the day, these comedians who do this shit, they're going to have to face the consequences for the things they do. You can have a funny set that's racist as hell. It's not going to stop people from thinking you're a racist. So